Representative Mastrofrancesco.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The budget and the implementer has a lot of bills in it that maybe were in committee, maybe we didn't get a chance to vote on them here. Do we know, and I know this is a big document and it's probably a big ask, how do we know what bills that we've discussed in committee and maybe debated on this floor are in this particular budget through you?
Representative Walker.
Through you, Madam Speaker, I do not know.
Representative Mastrofrancesco.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I do not know either. I don't really have any other questions, just concerns that there's a lot of bills in here that, like the good representative said, we don't know what they are. There's not enough funding in here for early voting. There are a lot of earmarks going to towns. We have husky coverage for undocumented immigrants in our country up to the age of 15, grandfathered up to age 19. Those are really concerns of mine. But what's another real concern of mine is that there's a portion of this budget that came out of my committee, and it's called the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. And it's really unfortunate that that was debated in the Senate. We talked about it in our GAE committee, but it was never discussed here on the floor. And quite honestly, Madam Speaker, I don't believe the people in this room really know what that bill is about. And I would really like to take a few moments to discuss it, but to respect of the chairman of the Appropriations and the Finance Committee, I don't expect them to really know the details and to really understand what that bill does. And probably not fair for me to sit here and question her on the details of that because she doesn't sit on that committee. And that's the problem when we pass legislation like this, when we approve budgets like this, because there's a lot in here many of you don't know. According to my numbers here, the total spending increase, I believe, is 7.2%, and maybe the good chairman of the Appropriations can confirm that with me. Total budget of $51 billion. There's a $2.7 billion increase in spending, $2.7 billion an increase in spending over a period of 2 years. Is that figure correct through you, Madam Speaker?
Representative, you're going to need to repeat your question, please.
Sure, certainly. The total increase in spending is $2.7 billion over a period of 2 years. Is that correct through you?
Representative Walker.
Through you, Madam Speaker, I don't. That number, no, that's not the one. It sounds good, but I do not know right now. I can add it up and let you know, but I don't have it in front of me.
Representative Mastrofrancesco.
Thank you,
That's right.
Madam Speaker. I believe I did add it, and certainly you can check. It was $919 million increase in the first year and $1.8 billion increase in spending in year two, which I have a total of $2.7 billion, which, Madam Speaker, is a lot of money. It's hard to justify to my constituents how we can increase spending by $2.7 billion, regardless of where the money came from, because at the end of the day, it still comes from the taxpayers. You can call it ARPA money, leftover money, money in a general fund. You're just moving figures around. But at the end of the day, this money comes from the taxpayers. And you can't increase spending without getting that money from somewhere. And that, Madam Speaker, is a huge concern of mine. $2.7 billion is a lot of money. We should be looking at programs that are not working and reduce those programs, and certainly programs that are working great, maybe enhance them. But it just seems that, I don't even know, looking at this budget, what the programs were the prior year, because when we get the document, we only get to see what's allocated for the 2 years. So I don't know, looking at it, what happened the year before. Are we increasing spending in that program? Did we decrease spending in that program? Did that program work? We have no idea looking at this 800-page budget document. For me, it would be irresponsible for me to vote on this budget today, Madam Speaker, with a massive increase in spending of $2.7 billion. And again, you can say wherever you want where you're getting it from. At the end of the day, that's taxpayer money. And no one can deny that. And in order to increase spending, you need to get that money from somewhere. We can shift numbers around, talk about a tax break for our constituents. But at the end of the day, the numbers don't lie. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have no further questions.
Thank you, Representative